Good afternoon, all. Very good afternoon, Saurabh sir. Welcome you on behalf of Dr. Rachna. Welcome you on behalf of GEETA Engineering College for this webinar. Thanks a lot for giving us opportunity to welcome you as well as to listen you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you
Yes.
hear me? Oh, okay, great. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Dr. Rachna, for inviting me for this interaction.
Sir, I will wait for more 2 minutes. Then most students are joining the session. Then we'll start with the session. So please give us more two
Yeah,
minutes.
sure. No worries.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, all. As we all know that today Mr. Saurabh Gupta is with us for the session, for the webinar on the topic how cloud giving wings to business. As I want to welcome Mr. Saurabh Gupta. Mr. Saurabh Gupta started his career with Wipro and later worked with many companies in India, UK, and Japan. He is currently based in Tokyo, working with Synchron Technologies Japan. In his role as a senior cloud architect, he helps MNCs in designing solutions to migrate them from traditional data centers to various cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and GCP, thus getting them ready for next generation technologies while optimizing cost and securing them. He enjoys spending leisure time with his family and cycling along seashore. Thank you so much, Saurabh sir, to giving us your precious time. And we are fortunate enough to have you with us. I hope our students will learn a lot as well as will feel privileged to listen you. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot. Over to you, sir. Saurabh sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you, Rachna, ma'am, actually, to invite me, and
Most welcome, sir.
thank you for giving me this opportunity to interact with all your students. So, hello all. Hope you all are doing fine. It's a tough pandemic time, but I hope all of you are doing well. So, let me just share my screen. Okay, so as Rachna ma'am said, today's webinar is actually about how cloud is giving wings to business. So in this session, actually, we will cover some topics. Let's see, like what is cloud computing? I'll give you just a brief overview of what actually is cloud computing. And then we will see which are the main players which are in the cloud market. And then the services which are provided by the cloud vendors and who is actually adopting the cloud. So we will see which companies are actually currently in cloud, and there are also companies which are actually born in cloud. This is very interesting topic. So we will discuss which companies have actually started in cloud itself and now growing big. Then we will see how the cloud market is going. So we will review a report from Gartner, where we can see how the cloud market was performing earlier and the forecast of the cloud market. Then after that, we will see some pros and cons of cloud computing. After that, we will have a Q&A session where you can ask me about this webinar in general or cloud computing market. And then if time permits, we can have a small quiz section. Okay. So moving on. So what is cloud computing? So if you look at the bookish definition, it says cloud computing is the on-demand availability of computer system resources, especially data storage and computing power without direct active management by the user. Pretty boring, actually. Even it's difficult for me to understand what it means. So let's try to simplify this. Okay, let's try to see, is there a similar concept already in use? With electricity, what you do is, if you need electricity, you get a connection from electricity board and then use it or consume the electricity. You can have a power backup on your house like a generator, but it's like a backup. You can use it for 2-3 hours, but you cannot run it for 24/7, 365 days. You have to depend on the electricity board to provide you electricity. And you don't worry how they are producing the electricity, how they are generating the electricity, how the turbine is moving, whether they are using coal, hydro, or solar, whatever. You don't have to worry about that. You just have to turn on the switch and you should get the light. That's all. So similar is the concept of actually cloud, that you don't have to worry about these basic things. That will be taken care by someone else. What you have to worry about is your core business or your core strength. Okay. So we already have quite a few applications which we are using actually currently, and they are based in cloud, like Gmail. Okay. So Gmail is like you don't have to worry about how the servers are running at the background, how Google is maintaining them. You don't have to worry about it. You just have to click on compose, write your message, and put a sender's name and click on send button. That's all. You don't have to worry about how the where your mail is getting saved, whether it has a backup or not, and what all compliances. You don't have to worry about all those things. That's the problem of Google. And similar concept is of YouTube. So you create a good video on YouTube, you upload it on YouTube, and you are just worried about your like, share, subscribe. That's all. You don't have to worry about where your video is getting stored, whether it's getting backed up, how long it's getting backed up. You have to worry about all those things. So that is, in a you can say, just cloud computing, where your IT needs are taken care by someone else, and you can focus on your core business strength. Maybe you are a finance company, so you don't want to manage the IT setup. You can just focus on your finance deals. Like if you're a CA, you just have to worry about your financial part. You don't have to worry about where your data is getting stored and whether it will be stored safely or not. That's the problem of the cloud provider. Okay, so this was just a gist of what is cloud computing. There are quite a few companies which are actually currently in the cloud market and they are providing services. But if you look at the cloud market overall, around 60 to 70% of the market is actually captured by these three companies. First of them is AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. Okay, so this is our very well-known company, Amazon, from which we buy products. Also, you must be buying stuff from it during the Diwali sale. And then you have Azure, which is provided by Microsoft. So Microsoft is second in the market. AWS was actually the first one who came with this concept of public cloud, and thus they have a good capture of the market. A good chunk of market is captured by AWS. Second, at the second number is Microsoft Azure. So they came in late in the party, but they traditionally had good pace on enterprise customers. So they are taking advantage of that and now migrating their enterprise customers to Azure cloud. Third in the market is Google Cloud. They generally, you have worked on Gmail, YouTube, all these services, but earlier they were not provided for enterprises. They came in party late, and thus they have a comparatively less control over the cloud market, but still they are quite big and growing quite fast. Okay, so these are the main three cloud providers currently globally in the market. Okay, moving on. So these are the three main service layers which are provided by the cloud vendors. First is IS, which is infrastructure as a service. PaaS is platform as a service, and SaaS is software as a service. So I don't want to throw jargons at you. So let's try to simplify these services. Okay, and then we will compare it with what actually are these cloud providers providing to us. Moving on, so let's compare it with Dosa as a service. So you all must have had a Dosa somewhere, or you know about Dosa, right? So let's compare Dosa with how your services are provided by cloud vendors. Okay, so if you compare traditional on-prem or made at home, so if you want to eat dosa, there are multiple options available. First is that you make it at home. Okay, and if you want to make it at home, you need quite a few things. Like you need chutneys, dosa batter or rice. Then you need a grinder in which you will grind all these things. And then you need potato stuffings, you need a gas stove, and then you need plates or cutlery also in which obviously you will eat your food. And then you need a dining table or a nice place to sit. So this is how the traditional on-prem kind of setup we have in cloud also, or in IT also, I say. So this is made at home where you do everything, you prepare all these things. But what if you don't want to actually put in so much effort? You don't want to grind the rice and prepare the chutney. So what you can do is you go to the market. Okay, you buy dosa batter from there. Then you don't need a grinder also because you have a ready-made batter available, and you can buy chutneys also from the market. So in that way, your effort is reduced to a bit where you don't have to do these three things while you still have to prepare your potato stuffing. So you need a gas stove, plates, and dining table. So here the approach is take and make, where you have reduced some of your efforts, but you are willing to do the other part. And similar concept is with infrastructure as a service. Okay, moving on. Let's say you don't want to even prepare your potato stuffings. You don't have a gas stove. So what you will do is you will call Swiggy or Zomato, and then you will ask for a home delivery. Okay. So then you don't have to worry about your chutney, batter, grinder, potato stuffing, gas stove, nothing. You just need your utensils to eat, your plates, cutlery, and a nice place to sit. That's all. So that's similar to your platform as a service. So you have further reduced your efforts actually as you move ahead. And third is like you don't want to even wash your utensils. So why you will want to do it? And you don't want to clean your table also, uh, just being lazy on a weekend. So what you will do? You will dine out. Okay, you go to a nice hotel or a restaurant, and there you will order a dosa, and all these things will be taken care by the restaurant owner. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, chutney, dosa, grinder, potato stuffing, gas stove, plates, dining table, anything. You don't have to worry about any of the things. So that concept is similar to software as a service. So in this case, you don't have to worry about anything. You just consume your software or consume your dosa. So that's the simplified version of the cloud services. So as you move ahead, you will see that your effort is getting reduced, but you will have to pay extra for that service. While it will be cheapest when you prepare the dosa at home, as you move ahead, buy something from market, it will get expensive. As you move further, it will get further expensive because you are asking for a home delivery. And if you dine out, then it will be more expensive in comparison to your home delivery, right? So let's compare this with cloud layers. So these are the three layers which we saw in the initial slide. So infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, and this is traditional on-prem, which is like making your dosa yourself. So in a traditional setup in IT, you will have to take care of all these things. You will have to take care of the network, storage, servers, virtualization, operating system, middleware, runtime, database, applications. A lot of things, right? But let's say your business is maybe serving a dosa. You created a startup, South Indian startup where you serve South Indian meals, maybe a dosa. So you want to focus only on serving your customer. You want to prepare dosa, serve dosa to your customers. You don't want to worry about all these things because that's not your expertise. If you get into doing all these things, it may take a lot of your effort. And also when you set up all these things in your data center, you have to follow some compliances, which in itself is time and money consuming process. So you don't want to do all those things. So you think, okay, I don't want all the hardware. So you go to a cloud provider and say, I need IS service, infrastructure as a service. So you get rid of virtualization, servers, storage, networking. All the maintenance of these things will be taken care by the cloud providers. They will patch it for you. They will bring up the servers if anything goes wrong. So you don't have to worry about the infrastructure. But you still will be responsible for your operating system, your database, applications. Okay. So this is infrastructure as a service. What if you think, oh no, I don't want to even get into managing the operating system. I don't know what's a middleware or what's a runtime. I don't want to take care of all that thing. But I can manage with a database. I can manage with small application. I can create a small application for myself. Then you select platform as a service. So over here, your effort is reduced and you just have to take care of your application and database. Now, if you think that, no, I don't want to even put effort in maintaining an application or database, because you will have to hire someone who will actually maintain these things for you as you grow. So you go for a software as a service. So in that case, you can opt for softwares like Tally, or maybe if your company grows quite big, you can opt for Oracle or Salesforce, something like that. So then you go for software as a service. In that case, you don't have to worry about anything. You will get an interface of software. You just have to worry about the software. And then you put entry about what your customers, how many stuff you have sold, what is your inventory of raw material, all those things, if your stuff is coming or not, those kind of stuff you just have to worry. And then you have to serve your dosa, and you can focus on improving the quality of your service, which is your strength. Okay. So these are the different layers of cloud. Majority of cloud providers actually will provide you these services, and there are few more services, but a major chunk is taken care by these three service layers. Okay. So who is using cloud? If we look here, there are quite a few companies actually which are using cloud. To give you some example, there are companies like Mercedes-Benz, Google, as we saw earlier, Gmail, YouTube, everything. Then even you have companies like McDonald's, and you have Indian companies also like Kotak, Mahindra, Infosys, who are using cloud. And you have companies like Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is on cloud. Amazon is obviously on cloud. They have their own cloud, Amazon Web Services. So you see, quite a few companies are actually using cloud. Now you must be wondering why such a big company has to use a cloud. They can have their own IT. Why they have to move to cloud? So there can be actually many reasons for using cloud. There are quite a few advantages that comes when you use cloud, and those advantages we will discuss when we will discuss about the pros and cons of the cloud. But let me give you some example. Like if you want to have a new project, you just want to try something new, and you know that the project will be only of 6 months or something, then you can start testing that project directly in cloud. And you don't have to buy hardware in advance to test this project. So you do all your testing in 6 months, and when your project is over, you can just shut down all your infrastructure that you bought from the cloud provider, and that's all. So you don't have to make a long-term commitment for a specific hardware or application or database. Okay, moving on. So born in cloud. There are actually quite a few companies which are actually born in cloud, or the startups which started directly from the cloud. And you must be wondering why. So I'll give you a simple reason. Whenever someone tries to start a business, one thing they are afraid of is failure. What if you thought that this idea will click and it doesn't work, and you spend, let's say, 1 year in setting up all that infrastructure that we saw, servers, storage, everything, 6 months spent in that, and then you finally go, when everything is there, then you start applying your idea. And then, let's say you thought that your idea will be very good, and at least you will be getting 1,000 customers per day on your website. But for some reason, only 10 to 15 customers are coming every day on your website. Then what? You have invested a lot of time and money to support that at least 1,000 users will come to your website, and that's why you have a supporting hardware with it. And now it doesn't work. After 1 year, you will feel like, oh, this is failure. Now what will I do? And this failure is one of the reasons why most of the companies actually don't start up. People are scared. But we have to understand that failure is actually a good learning experience. But if you spend 1 year on an idea and it fails, then obviously it will hurt, right? So what if you don't have to spend a year on it? What if you spend 2-3 weeks on an idea and it fails? It won't hurt that much, actually. It's like giving a unit test. You tried in it didn't work out. You say, okay, I'll prepare for another 2-3 weeks. So 2-3 weeks is like, it's fine for you. If you fail after 2-3 weeks, you don't have to spend so much energy and you will be fine. So that's the concept that we now see in the business. Fail fast. See, failing is very important in learning experience, but if you fail fast, then it's fine. And when you fail fast, you learn fast. When you learn fast, you will apply a new idea. So in every 2-3 weeks, there are chances that you will apply a new idea, and in, let's say, 3 months, one of your idea clicked, right? And then you are out for business. So you have a lot of customers coming in. But let's say in traditional approach, you prepared for only 1,000 customers. Earlier we saw that what if only 10 customers come to your website? Then what will you do? All your investment is waste. But what if your idea clicked and now suddenly 1 million customers are coming to your website? Then what? Your hardware can hardly take 1,000 customers and you have 1 million customers coming in, then obviously your servers will crash, right? And if your servers crash, people will start giving negative reviews for your website. So even though you had a great idea, a great website, you will see negative reviews, and after some time, nobody will bother to come to your website, right? But what if you can scale as your customers grow? And that's when cloud come in. So with cloud, you don't have to worry about the infrastructure, and it is also scalable. So it depends. If your requirement is less, maybe you can set up a scaling there that, okay, I'll first prepare for 1,000 customers, but I should have an option to scale up to 1 million also. So in cloud, they say, like Google say, 0 to planet scale scaling is available. So you can scale to whatever, theoretically scale actually to whatever limit you want. They have huge infrastructure at the back end, which can help you grow fast or slow as you want. Okay, and that's why a lot of companies actually started in cloud. So companies like Instagram, Pinterest, Airbnb, even Netflix, which is very quite favorite over from last few months because of pandemic, we cannot go out, so we spend our time watching Netflix, right? So that's where so all these companies actually started in the cloud. So if you know the story of Instagram, when the guy started the company, he failed 2-3 times actually. The idea with which he thought that he will be successful, he left his job, invested his time in that company, that idea, and it failed. And he was rejected. So then he tried again, and the second idea also failed. And then he tried again, and third time he got Instagram, and it clicked, and he became a billionaire later, right? So that's the power of cloud. You fail fast, you learn fast, and you make great products fast. Okay, but everything is not good hunky-dory in the cloud. There are few cons also of the cloud if you compare it with the pros. Okay. Okay. So let's compare some pros and cons. So first pros is that you only have to pay for the time and space that you are using. You don't have to buy anything in advance. If you have 100 customers, then you will use the infra for 100 customers only. And as you grow, you can pay for more. But there is a con that sites which are on cloud can still have downtime. What if something failed on cloud side? You don't have a control over it. If it failed, failed. But generally, they have very reliable setup, though you cannot say that outages won't happen. Like just last week, only a huge outage happened in AWS. So, and you cannot do anything if your company is completely dependent on cloud. But that's the balance you have to find out. Then you have to make a very low upfront payment. As I said, it's pay-as-you-go service. So you whatever you consume, you pay for it. But you will have a lack of admin or root access. So it means that you cannot control your own server completely. You can only have access to the software or the OS layer, but the hardware is still controlled by your cloud provider. The underlying layers are still provided by taken care by your cloud provider. And if you want to optimize something which will need a hardware change also, you don't have a lot of flexibility over there. Okay. Then another pro is servers can be deployed instantly. So you can deploy a server within minutes, and you don't have to run around in the market buying your hardware and then creating a data center. You don't have to worry about all those compliances of building a data center. That is taken care by the cloud provider. But since cloud provider are providing similar service to multiple customers, so chances are that your storage on which your data is stored is shared across multiple customers. So you will find some disk latency, which may be or may not be problematic for your application because there are multiple tiers of storages which are available from magnetic disk to SSDs. So it depends on how you create your applications. So, and then there is increased reliability because, as I said, the load is spread across different data centers and they do take care of it, but then it's not 100% foolproof. So like Amazon says they can provide you 4 nines, like 99.99% reliability, or 11 nines also, like 99.999, 9 nines behind it. So, but still there is a scope cons, and that's where people like me come in, where we review the application and decide whether the application is fit for cloud or not, and if it is fit for cloud, then which level of service should you use and how you can optimize the cost. There are chances that you may have an IT team sitting behind in your office, so you don't want to use software as a service because they are capable of handling the software, so you may go for a PaaS or even infrastructure as a service. And so these are actually the pros and cons of the cloud. Okay. Now let's have a look at the cloud market. So this report is from Gartner, July 2020 numbers are these. And if you look at these services, as I said, IS, PaaS, SaaS, these are the main three services. And then you have small services also like business process services and desktop as a service also. So if you look at the numbers, you see that around $242 billion business was done in cloud worldwide in 2019. And in 2020, it's forecasted to be around $257 billion. Because of the ongoing pandemic, things have changed. But in the next years, it is supposed to get picked up again. So it's going to be around $306 billion in 21. And then around $364 billion is forecasted to grow in. So as you can see, cloud is growing quite fast. And a lot of companies are actually going to cloud because of the reasons I discussed earlier. And many startups are coming up actually in cloud because they don't want to invest their energy and time in managing IT, but they want to focus on their specific idea with which they can create a great product. Okay. So this was all about cloud. I have been talking a lot. So now is your chance to actually ask me questions. Anyone? Yeah, I hope you guys were listening because next section is quiz. And if you don't ask me questions, then I'll be asking you questions. So it's better that you spend all the time in asking the questions. Hello? Sorry, I see the message bit late. Are you guys able to hear me? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
So students are writing in chat box. One student has written,
Okay.
Nikki has written, how cloud computing works.
Yeah, good question. So if we say cloud computing, it's not very different from, let's say, your laptop or desktop on which you are working. So currently you are responsible for your So currently you are responsible for your hardware. Okay. If something goes with your desktop, you have to manage it. But what if you don't want to manage? Then you give that hardware to someone else to manage. And that's the concept of cloud computing. So companies like Google or Amazon, they have hundreds of thousands of servers running inside their data centers. And you just have to log into their web user interface or their website. And from there, you can select whichever server you want, whatever amount of memory, like if you want 64 GB RAM and 1 terabyte hard disk, whatever you want, you can select. And that's how the cloud is getting powered. And they have underlying operating system, generally Linux, but they have their own OS also running at the backend. And that hardware and software is provided you as a service, so you can consume. Does that answer it?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Sir, I also want to add one question. Will the application and data always remain secured in the clouds?
Yeah. So the thing is, it's depends. So it depends on how you create the application. So generally, cloud providers have all these ISO and HIPAA and all these compliances. But then the responsibility of security is actually shared. So if you create an application on cloud, then managing the security of the application will be your responsibility, let's say in infrastructure as a service. So they will take care of all the underlying OS. Till the OS layer, they will take care of it, the operating system. But if anything above that, you install responsibility.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Yes, sir, one student has asked uh, one more question. He has asked, what are the different models for cloud computing?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. So there are actually mainly three type of cloud computing models currently. Cloud is like provided by AWS, Azure, or GCP, right? Where you don't have to take care of anything. Everything is taken care by the cloud vendor. But uh, what if you want to manage your own hardware? You are okay to manage your own hardware, and you have an IT team sitting there. Then you go for a private cloud. Okay, so private cloud, you can have softwares like VMware or OpenStack. These are like private clouds. And then what if you want to take benefit of both the worlds? So you may have small projects coming in, and you want to utilize the public cloud for some time, and then once you have tested your application, then you want to move it to your own private cloud in your own data center. Then you can go for a hybrid model. So in hybrid model, you can move your services from private cloud to public cloud and vice versa.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So one student has asked one more question. The question is, what is the role of manager in cloud computing?
Hmm. See, roles are actually changing quite fast. So traditionally, the role of a manager was to manage the people only, right? But now we have mostly techno managerial kind of role. So you may be still managing people for, let's say, 40 to 50% of your time, but for the remaining 50%, you may have to do some technical stuff also, or at least you should have a basic understanding of cloud, so that when your subordinates talk to you, you understand what's happening. It should not be blank, like, what are you talking? So that's the kind of thing. And what we have seen recently is that earlier the technology refresh used to happen in 8 to 10 years, when the technology used to change. So you can sit back and relax what you have learned, use it for another 8 to 10 years, and you are good to go. But later the cycle changed. Now later we noticed that in every 5 years the technology was changing, so you have to keep on learning something new in every 5 years. And recently we have seen that in every 2 to 3 years the technology is changing, and it's changing drastically. So if you are in IT, you have to keep on learning. And chances are that this learning cycle will reduce further to 1 or 1.5 year, where a new technology, uh, very, let's say, AI or ML related technology suddenly comes in, and then you are asked to learn about it. And that's why the roles are merging. So the traditional role of a manager is changing into a techno managerial kind of role.
Thank you, sir. Very well explained. I think students will be very clear about the concept. So one question is, more question is there from the student side. Which platforms are used for large scale cloud computing? Which platforms are used for large scale
So
cloud computing?
so platform, you can say, like YouTube. YouTube is large scale cloud computing, where you have billions of users using it. Facebook is large scale cloud computing. You don't have to worry about how Facebook is managing the servers, right? You just upload your photo, upload your video, and that's all. Like, share, comment. So these are example of large scale computing. Yeah, I see someone said Google. Yeah, right. So Google, the technologies of Google like YouTube, Gmail, Google Drive, all these are examples of large scale cloud computing.
I think students are very much benefited from this session, and we feel privileged to have you with us for the session. Any more student, if you want to ask anything? Yes. Any student, if you want to ask anything from sir? I think no more queries are there, as you have explained so well that I think most of the concepts are clear to the students with your explanation itself, and they have learned so many things from the session. So thanks a lot, sir, and um, we are very thankful to you for the wonderful session. And students
Okay.
are also giving you thanks messages. Thank you for the wonderful session, sir. Thanks a lot. So one more question from a student in the
Uh-huh.
last. What are some security measures regarding the cloud?
Okay, yeah. So there are quite a few security measures that you can do. So generally, what happens is that you may have heard about cyber attacks, right? And you have to be careful about those attacks. So at times you have seen like someone has suddenly started putting a lot of traffic on your server so that your servers get overwhelmed and they go down. So if your server is, let's say, made for 10,000 users and suddenly 10 million users are coming on your traffic, then something is wrong. And that's called a DDoS attack, distributed denial of service. And that kind of attack is quite common in IT world. Do auto scaling in your server so that your servers can scale up to a limit. So you can minimize the impact of the attack. And in the meantime, you can have a firewall where you can identify the IPs from in cloud. You get some time to identify from where the attack is coming, and you can control it. And in the meantime, the auto scaling of the cloud will take care that your genuine customers are still getting your services. So that's one of the example of security measures. There are quite a few security measures involved actually. And if you have many queries, any other queries actually, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook, and you can ask me there also.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for the option you have given to the students also. Thank you so much. And again, a very big thank to you for this great session, sir. Um, Actually, we also learned a lot from this session, and I hope students are also feeling enlightened from this session. Means sometimes they are not aware about the concept and so deeply, and they from these types of webinar they learned a lot besides their studies. These types of webinars helps them a lot to learn different concepts with proper knowledge. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Actually, my intent was also to share my insight about how the industry is growing and how it is changing quite fast. So be prepared for it. Don't be
Thanks, sir.
scared of any failures, because failures, as I said, is part of learning process. So fail fast, learn fast, and hope you make great products. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. As we say here in Japan, arigato gozaimashita. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Thank you. See you. Bye. Take care.